I left my own wedding last week after hearing what my fiancé really thinks of me. My dad died when I was 19. Heart attack. No warning, no goodbye. Just a Tuesday morning phone call that split my life into before and after. He was the kind of man who made everything feel deliberate. Every Sunday, he'd bring my mom flowers. Not roses, nothing expensive, just whatever was outside the grocery store on his way home. He'd set them on the kitchen table without a word, and she'd smile. No big moment, just a habit that said, I see you, I chose you again today. When I started dating seriously, I picked up that habit. Every important moment, first anniversary, hard days, I'd bring flowers. Not to be romantic, just to feel like he was still doing something through me. So the morning of my wedding, I woke up at 6. Went downstairs, bought 2 small bunches of white tulips from the hotel gift shop, and took the elevator up to the bridal suite. I had the spare key, but knocked anyway. No answer. The door was cracked an inch. I stepped in quietly to leave them on the table by the window and walk back out. That's when I heard her voice from the bathroom. She wasn't in the shower. She was on the phone, sitting on the counter by the sound of it, laughing. I recognized the voice on the other end. Her maid of honor, who was running late and apparently had been since 6 a.m. I caught pieces at first. Traffic, hair appointment drama, normal stuff. I should have just set the flowers down and left. But then her voice dropped into that tone, the one people use when they think no one who matters is listening. She said she was just counting down to the honeymoon so she could figure out the rest of her plan. I stopped moving. She laughed again. Then she said, he's just stable, like financially stable. My mom always said find someone boring and rich and let the love part sort itself out. I stood in that room and did not breathe. Then, and his whole thing with his dead dad's watch. 7 years, and he still tears up talking about it. At some point, you just have to let it go. The watch. My dad's watch. A beaten-up Seiko he wore every single day. Nothing valuable. The kind of thing a pawn shop would offer $40 for. I wore it to every important event because it was the only way I knew how to bring him with me. I had it on my wrist that morning. I looked down at it while she was still talking and went quiet somewhere inside. I set the tulips down on the chair nearest the door, walked out, took the elevator to the lobby and sat down next to the fountain near the entrance. Watched people move through the hotel. A couple arguing quietly near the concierge desk. A little kid trying to throw a coin into the fountain while her dad held her over the railing. I sat there for a long time. Long enough that my brother came looking for me, found me staring at nothing and said we had to go. I said okay. I went upstairs, finished getting dressed, put the watch back on. My brother kept glancing at me in the mirror, but I looked fine. I felt like I was moving through something thick and slow, but I looked completely fine. 300 people in that room. Her parents in the front row, her mom already crying. My mom next to her, nervous and proud. My friends from college, her whole extended family. Everything she'd planned for 8 months, arranged exactly the way she wanted. I stood at the end of that aisle and watched her walk toward me, and she was beautiful. And I felt absolutely nothing except a deep, clarifying calm. When the officiant got to the part where he asked if I took her, I looked at her, really looked. She was smiling at me with that full, open smile that used to undo me completely. And I said no, not quietly, not as a question. Just the word, flat and clear in a room that had been completely silent for the question. She blinked, reached for my hand, said my name twice, slowly, like I was confused or sick or had forgotten where I was. I wasn't confused. I took the watch off my wrist and set it in my jacket pocket. Then I turned and walked back down the aisle through 300 people who had not yet understood what was happening. I heard the murmuring start behind me as I pushed through the chapel doors. My brother caught up with me in the parking lot. He didn't ask any questions. He just walked next to me, and that was enough. She called 17 times that night. I haven't answered. The flowers were still on the chair when she came out of that bathroom. I know because her maid of honor texted me 2 days later asking what they meant. I didn't respond to that either. She still doesn't know what I heard. Every time she tries to figure out where things went wrong,